There are conversations that shape how we live. Conversations that help us navigate challenges of life. Conversations that bring out the best in us. This is where we gather to help each other find the way and unleash our potential. Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Globe.
Psychologist, relationship coach, the one, the only
Benjamin Zulu.
Benjamin Zulu himself.
Marriage can be viewed through different lenses and its significance vary with different people. Now, how do you know that someone is marrying you in earnest and not because it's a rite of passage? Did you know that someone can marry you just because it's that time they have to marry and they have to be accepted in the society? That is the topic that we are talking about today, and I know you have a lot to unpack for us.
Yes, and we're talking about the signs that people will give you even when they don't know that they're giving you. Again, in life, you're trying to reduce the unknowns.
Yeah.
The purpose is to reduce how much catches you by surprise. If you cannot tell people's motives, if you cannot read what they're up to, it means everything will be a surprise for you.
Yeah.
The blow that takes you down is not the blow that is strongest. The blow that you never saw coming. We're trying to help you to see people coming, to see them from afar. When people say, I love you too, I'd like to spend my life with you, let's get married, what do they mean? You want to be sure that you and them mean the same thing. Sometimes people are coming from a different place where they need to tick certain boxes, where they need to do some things, or they are also not sure. But since you're available, they're single and all that.
Yeah.
You may find that a lot of time when a young man has started making money, everybody starts asking him, what are you waiting for? You find that this lady has graduated college or whatever that like that. She appears now, she's somewhere in the world. People believe you should always be in something.
Yeah.
Either in school or in marriage.
Yes.
So a person can be marrying you because they're being pushed by society to justify that they're doing something.
Yeah.
And some other time they're also being shown to prove that they are normal. If you're not marrying abnormal, are you straight? Are you okay?
Yeah.
Are you fertile?
Yes.
What is happening? And when you come from a society where a lot of your younger cousins, sisters, the age groups, even when they're behind you, they're crossing one direction. And they make a very strong argument for people to ask you, where are you behind? Check your cousin, check your sister, look at your brother. What is wrong with you? Society wants you to band as groups, as class of 2012, class of 2020. We are the class of 05, to graduate as groups, to cross as groups. People want, there's a sense in which you are born as a group and there are milestones you cross together. But what society wants is for you to never stand out and find who you are. For you to always do things because they're being done. To always cross something because it's being crossed. To never develop an independent mind. An independent mind is very scaring to the society because you might go a path they don't know. You might take you may scale your life to heights they have not done it themselves. You may become so independent and self-determining that you don't follow the mold they wanted you to follow. People always want to make you predictable. When you become independent, you're unpredictable. They can't tell whether you're planning to get a child or not, 2 children or not, leave this or not, build or not, buy this thing or not. When you're independent, you're unpredictable, and people are very uncomfortable with anything that is unpredictable, including you. Once you've seized the power, and now you can take option A, option B, or option C. They want to keep your options just one, so that you don't think.
Yes.
You don't think. You don't try to go a direction they are not aware of. So it could be possible the person you're facing in front of you is being carried by the current of society, is being carried by the current of culture, is being carried by the expectations of where they come from, and that their families have this hold on them, influence on them. And if you marry them when every motivation is external, you will suffer. You will suffer because they were being carried by a river. They don't know how to swim. You join the person who cannot swim. They're just being carried along.
Yes.
Particularly first-time marriages, when people are just coming from childhood, entering into adulthood. There's an immense pressure there for people to settle now, to do what other people are doing now, to prove that they're normal now. There's a lot of pressure there. It's on both genders. You may think on women, it's on women, but I tell you, it's also on men a lot.
Okay.
It's on men a lot. They don't want to see a young man who has money and he has no wife. They always tell you to bring somebody to organize your money.
Yes.
As if they helped you to gain the money. For you develop yourself by your own drive, hunger, to arrive at a place where you're earning decent money. But when you start earning it, people make it look like you're just lucky, you've just been blessed. It's okay, this is a part of blessing.
Yeah.
But it's also a part of sowing, so that you may reap.
Yes.
If you have been sowing and sowing, when the time comes for reaping, don't let people who are not there, when you're grinding and sowing, to come and advise you that you are endangering your life by not bringing somebody there.
To plan for you.
You know? Because they tend to really appoint themselves to be your advisor. When you buy a car, when you buy a house, if they hear that Sylvia is buying a house, she's not married, they send a delegation. They send your auntie. Say, are you struggling to find somebody? Can we help you, hook you up? Can you get a child in the meantime? They really become concerned when they hear you're buying a house, or you have this, you're being promoted to a manager now.
Before you get a family.
Yes, and they can't see signs of you where they're looking whether there's anybody you're hanging out with. You know, they're checking on who are you visiting home with. People have a lot to say about you getting married, about you getting a child. They have a lot of invested interest. If you do not follow the following criteria, you're going to marry a person who's marrying for society, and they will not be invested. Now, the first sign that a person is marrying is a rite of passage, and for outside motivations rather than personal decision and preparedness, is when they focus more on the wedding than the marriage. When they want a wedding of a certain size, of a certain look, it's like they're trying to get back to somebody who did a wedding of that, and they want to scale up. If they keep insisting they want 550 guests, and they're not flexible to come to 300, could it be the one they're competing with was at 300? Was that 400?
Yes.
They want to make sure they live to the bar and compete. If they're insisting on certain venue that is maybe classy, flashy, things like that. They're insisting on Samantha Bridal. No problem with Samantha Bridal. Companies that cover weddings. They want to really bring them. They're going to pay for people to come cover it. They want it to feature on TV. They're really setting the bar very high. They want this number of maids because those kind of weddings have certain level of flair. They want 20 maids.
And they want celebrity maids. Yes.
Some people just ask a job. And they want to pay those. And you're wondering, hey, we are just growing tree. We are just coming from the ground. Why can't we just work with our friends? Work with people from our church? Things like that. But then they have a competition to do with their older cousin. With their other sister. Or they tell you, my parents are determining everything because they're paying for everything. You're the one getting married, but the parents have taken over the wedding because they want to get over, they want to match somebody's bar. The bar that was set by the so-and-sos. The bar that was set by this other family over the other side.
And they want their son to get married.
Yes. Many times when parents are that invested, it has something to do with it's not genuine. If it was love, they would help from behind. There's no problem parents helping. But we are talking about interfering and or acting as if it reflects more on them. Yes, you may marry on people who have status. They have been on earth for a long time. They may have built a name. They may have a reputation and understanding in society. You will not stand aside when your children are struggling to organize a wedding. And you're capable of it. But you're supposed to help while they are the ones in front. You're not supposed to take over and micromanage it as if they are not people. This is their first project. They should practice working on a project together. This is the first thing that they have a chance to really try and learn how it works. So we are saying, when you see a person who is more into the form of wedding, and again we need to balance this by saying those people who refuse any form of wedding, they're saying it's a waste of money, too much display, too much show off and all that. They have another problem of avoiding commitment, avoiding transitions, avoiding honoring that after and before. When you are closing the chapter of your youth and singleness forever, it's only fair you do it the way you do a graduation. You are graduating to another phase of life. We never say graduations are waste of money.
Yeah.
It's a transition. Transitions are important to be honored by a form of celebration and party. And the second reason for this ceremony is also you can sign papers in front of witnesses. When you sign contracts in front of family and friends, there's something it says about how serious you take what you're doing. You cannot sneak into the dark and say, oh, my wedding is a waste of money. If I don't matter to you, for us to start life on a way that is formal with a closure and an opening of before and after, why are we together even? Why are we together even?
Yeah.
Why are you collecting me like a stone on the road? Why do you want to bite me in the dark like an illicit drug? You know, what is that people don't want to stand up and confess? Usually it's because they have another life. Usually because they're just doing this and then they go back to act as if they're single. Usually it's because they have done things that if they go there, somebody will reveal it. Usually, yes, it is never sincere. It is never about the money. Money, if somebody says, oh, where are we going to get all that money? Ask yourself where they get the money for a child. Where they get money for a house. Where they get money for a family car.
Yeah, because marriage is expensive.
If somebody cannot afford wedding, they can't afford marriage.
Yeah.
Let's make that clear and stop arguing. If somebody is saying any form of birthday party, will you ever do a birthday party, anniversary? Will you ever do anything?
Nothing.
So, you can't afford life. Where are you going?
Why am I with this person who can't afford life?
Usually it's because we don't have standards ourselves.
Yeah.
We don't know how to insist on a certain level of life. Do not quarrel with ceremonies. They are important. They give you a chance to open a new chapter. They give you a chance to declare to the world what has become of your life now, henceforth. They give you a chance to progressively open a new leaf from thence on. But when people are marrying you without intending to commit and behave married, they don't want to be displayed. They don't want to say it to the world.
Yeah.
They want to continue behaving like they're still single. Many people don't want any sign of being married. They don't want a ring. They don't want that title on their social media. They don't want to be called married anywhere. They just marry you
Silently.
and they keep it private
Behind the scenes.
so that they can act otherwise out there.
Yes.
A ring is not the only way for committed people. You can see a person who has endorsed the identity of being married. And they don't shy to show it to the world and to tell to people that they are married. They are out of that chapter. They are committed. They are the family person now. They honor the marriage. When you find a person who is avoiding any form of identity in marriage, but they just want the wedding, the public show.
Yeah.
Wedding should be measured. We should do it from according to where we are in life. It should not be for public statement.
Yes.
Or for matching who reached what. The first time is a person is obsessed just with the wedding, not with the marriage afterwards, how compatible we are, the life we want to live, which direction we are taking our lives, what we want to have after that, where we want to be after 5 years,
Yes.
where we are aligned financially, where we are aligned on children, where we are aligned on lifestyle, where we are aligned spiritually, where we are aligned on relatives and friends, how we are boundaries we keep with our former people we had in our lives. Those are the real conversations when people intend to live a marriage together will be having. Where shall we live after that? What is happening after that? What do we want? What are we trying to create? What shall be the unique identity of our family? What do we want to impart in our children? These are the things that people are sincerely getting into marriage are discussing. And wedding is a ceremony that they plan together, but then they don't talk about it more than they talk about the marriage. The second sign that a person is marrying you for rite of passage to fulfill tick boxes because they're old enough to get married. Sometimes people marry you to get children. To get children.
To get children.
Yes. Some people really want children, not the marriage.
Not the marriage.
They really just want children.
Yes.
It's when they are not willing to change their lifestyle to accommodate the marriage. They are not willing to change trajectory of their career if necessity be.
Yeah.
You may find that a woman is telling you that her job will always come first. Somebody is telling you that their family, their mother, their father, always comes first. You may find that somebody is telling you that they cannot give up certain things. And you're not saying marriage should make you lose your life or stop being the life you love, but you cannot marry and continue living as if you're single. There are trade-offs to be done. There are compromises, meeting in the middle. There are things you do to make that marriage stand, to give it a chance. You do not continue hanging out with your boys into the night every weekend. You cannot continue living closed life. You don't tell me what you're doing. You don't communicate. You see these things once you've agreed that you want to get married. Remember I told you the second check? The second check of doing marriage, of learning people. The first check is when you are wooing, when you are just dating, when you're trying to find out whether you match, but you're not yet exclusive. The moment you get exclusive and start progressing towards getting married, that's when you're supposed to hold the sexual boundaries tight, because temptations increase. Because you think we shall get married anyway. What's the difference? But that's the time you get to see whether this person is adapting, changing their life to accommodate us. That is the most critical time to check. Whether the person is still doing overtime at every point at work, doing every weekend, still moving around, not slowing down, not creating any space for us. You cannot even get time to perform those things you need to perform, the premarital counseling, to visit this family, this side, to do you cannot even find time to start working as a unit. That's when you see a person who wants marriage as a concept, but not as a reality. Marriage as a concept can be very attractive to many people because it opens many doors. When you say you are married, people trust you. When you say you are a married person, you may get more businesses. You may get opportunities. You may get a lot of people to respect you. You may get to appear normal. So sometimes people marry because it's important for them to tick that box. But you can tell it's not the marriage they want because they are rigid with everything. They are resistant to changing on anything. Dressing, you can't continue dressing as if you're still looking. And we're not saying you're going to now cover everything, appear. No. It's not weirdness. It's the dignity of respecting what we have. The rule is let people do what they want so that you can see what they would rather do. Let people dress how they want so that you see how they would rather dress. Let people talk to the opposite sex how they want so that you see how much they respect what you have. Do not prescribe behavior to grown-ups. Do not be too quick to prescribe behavior. They will adapt it slightly because you insisted. This is one mistake leaders make. Leaders communicate too much. There's something like over-communicating in relationships. Because you're always expressing expectations at work. When people are not online, you tell them, that was not right, align for higher goal. That's not right, I expect. So you are used to always returning people online.
And they learn pretense.
Now, during marriage, there's another factor. Don't put people in line. Watch them. When it comes to moral direction, personal preparedness to lay down their life for the sake of us, to put us before the me, to value the marriage and protect what we have to their friends. If a person wants to continue telling friends they're still single, don't argue with it. Do not argue with it. Just confirm it. Some also say that you are together and they never got the impression that you have anybody. Oh yeah, I didn't mention it, sometimes I don't want my business known. That is not privacy, that is secrecy. And you don't argue with it. Say, oh, okay. Now they're telling you what this means to them. If you argue with it, no, you're supposed to get friends. No, you're supposed to inform them. No, you're supposed to post it. No. They may do it cosmetically. But have they done it internally?
No.
When it comes to grown-ups and you're used to communicating and you're dating, do not over-communicate. Do not overdo. When it comes to moral issues, moral issues, we mean character issues. Sincerity issues. Honesty. And you are being given clues to who you are dealing with. Clues. But what we usually do, the moment we find a person who wants to marry us, we start investing physically and sexually. So it hypnotizes us. We get so emotionally invested. We start thinking like we're already married. We start arguing with every red flag. We don't want disappointment at this point.
Yeah, communicating our expectations and everything. We just table everything.
Aligning them.
Yes.
So you line them, you you can streamline people, streamline.
Yeah.
And they streamline for the sake of getting married. Will they remain streamlined because of your policing?
Definitely no. At some point they'll get tired.
They'll get to their true colors.
To their true colors, yeah.
Then you say they change. No, and every time they wanted to show you who they are, you streamlined them.
Mm-hmm.
That is wrong. Why are you arguing?
They are putting up a face for you.
You know, if you can be poised and composed with acceptance,
Yeah.
not argument, not entitlement.
Mm-hmm.
You love the person, you hope it works, but you also understand in life you can't force what wouldn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You don't even want
Yeah.
what should not be. Supreme acceptance in life says, it may hurt, but I want the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It may hurt, but please give me the truth.
Yeah.
Don't comfort me with lies. Mm-hmm. If this person has another side I need to know, let me know early. If this person has a reluctance and a holding back
Yeah.
that I need to be aware of, may I know early.
Early enough.
That is what I want you to understand. That sometimes you are not dealing with a person who will give you any obvious red flag. They will not cheat, maybe. They will not drink, maybe. They will not embezzle funds. They will not be stealing. There's another red flag people ignore. A person who is stealing money from their company. They are dishonest in life.
Yes.
And you will feel it one day.
Yes.
One way or other.
And as the partner, you know that.
My friend, a person is obviously cutting corners, compromising systems, embezzling funds, cooking false projects, collaborating with big people to swindle public money. Mm-hmm. You will suffer it eventually.
Yeah.
They will lose the job from corruption. They'll get arrested. Mm-hmm. You find yourself selling things to bail them out.
Yeah.
Or they'll bring the corruption to marriage.
And also I believe if this person has no conscience in something that really matters to them, yeah, what about you as a partner?
Let me tell you, I don't know who taught us to think this way, that a person is already behaving shady with what belongs to another person, to the employer, to the state, to the country.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody embezzling funds meant to the poorest of the poor. How will they have mercy on you? When it comes to protecting your heart,
It means they have no conscience.
just remember that. That this person is so selfish, they don't mind doing wrong things
Yeah.
when they need to, when they see a need to. And it's only a matter of time before they are pressured to also cut corners with you, cut corners with the marriage.
Yeah.
A person who is insincere at work will be insincere in marriage. It's one character.
Yeah.
It's one character. So the thing is, if you over-align people because you're already invested, it's like you've sold on credit.
Yeah.
And it's like you're trying to make that creditor to behave, the debtor to behave, that borrower to behave. The key, which is the hardest part for most people, is to stick to the process of meeting, mingling, aligning, commencing the process of becoming a couple, and then maintaining boundaries during that process so that you can watch whether the person is willing to shift their life in every little way that as necessity comes to accommodate the marriage and the future we have together. Remember, dating is not just finding a person, it's building a life together, a kind of life that you want to grow with them into. That's what you structure in conversations. That's what you structure in talk. That's what you build in your mind. It's not just emotions between us.
Yeah.
It's a future
Yes.
we are building. It's somewhere we are growing together. It's something I bring out of you, something you bring out of me. When impatience sets in and you cross these boundaries, you lose perspective to see, are they moving my way? Can we co-create a life? Can we sacrifice? Can we incur inconveniences and pains and losses on each side for the sake of like losing closeness to relatives, losing friends who are not good for us, stopping doing habits that are harmful to us, learning things that are beneficial to us, learning to adapt. Like sometimes men, what I learned is we have to learn how to carry family on the road. When you are alone, you are driving the way you wish.
Yeah.
When you drive family, you don't want to give them panic attacks.
Yes.
You learn a better way, a more gentle way to handle yourself, to conduct yourself. You learn how to talk a certain way, to consider a person in your decisions, to consider somebody's feelings in your words. You choose, select your words carefully. Is this person migrating? That's how I am. Leave me alone. I cannot change. It should accept me aside. There are some changes you need to do. Can you see them? These are minute details that when you are already in a fog of sexual excitement, you won't see.
You won't see them.
So you need to see, is Sylvia changing gradually? Can I see her preferring us to that friend she has been with from class 8? Can I see her saying, some of these people have a funny attitude about us. They think I picked the wrong guy, and I don't want to keep convincing them. I've just stopped updating them. That's what I want to see.
Yes.
But if I can't see that, but my friends keep saying, please come meet them. But my sister, there's this cousin, there's this uncle, and you keep putting the person to opinion polls of your relatives, as if you can't make a decision. At some point, even your own parents, you might have to disagree with them. But the unreasonable parents who take hard lines that they don't want that tribe, they don't want that type of man, he doesn't want enough money. If people take a hard line, you are going to have to take a stand and to marry despite. So can you see that early? But if you are careless, let's start life, let's start living together,
because it's time.
Because you feel you love and then you rush ahead. There's a mountain of issues that you are sitting on, and this person may not have the preparedness and the commitment to wrestle through them. Families are not the same. Your family may be more accepting. The other family may be very rejecting. Don't meet in the city and start living. Don't say, we said let's get a child first. Yes.
Wow. Now, taking you back to the first point where we were talking about probably the parents facilitating the wedding and all, I feel like maybe this partner would be having a codependent relationship with the parents. What are the key indicators of codependency?
Lack of boundaries, where the person is commanded around, or themselves, they need a life they can't afford so much that they keep going back there to be facilitated for that life, that fake life that they can't afford yet. Sometimes parents have inheritance to give you, they have made some money, but it's not yet due. It's not yet due. You can only work with what you have now. The salary you're getting from your job. Some parents are not giving you allowance every month. But why are you living beyond your means until you have to keep asking dad for boost, mom for boost, or you go serving them to be tipped? You can see a person who has not accepted their life. They keep running errands for everybody for the tips. They have no independence. When you marry from well-off families, that is really the danger. As this person evolved to be a person of their own. That's the danger. People hide in well-to-do families. And years pass and they are 35 and they don't have independent mind. And society says, that's a rich family. You're marrying into a rich family. Don't be foolish.
They overlook so much.
Don't be foolish. Sometimes you marry and you're the one adopted into that family. Some of these parents are very controlling. They open a business for you, and because you're marrying the daughter, come and work here. My friend.
I've seen that actually.
My friend. My friend. You should not have a boss who is also your father-in-law. You will die. My friend. You will die. That man is carrying your life with his hand. Your job and your family. Do you want one person?
You have no air to breathe.
If you marry the daughter of the bishop, can you move away to another church? You don't want a boss who is also the bishop.
Your spiritual leader is also your boss and your father-in-law.
Your life will be miserable. You'll have to obey. Don't even breathe when they are around. How much can that person interfere in your life?
So much.
By one word. As a man, you need independence. If you marry from a family that has built, congratulate. If you marry the daughter of TD Jakes, for example, the daughter of Chris Kirubi, Elon Musk, I mean, those are people. You may find yourself with one of them. What next? Will you stay there and be swallowed by the empire?
I shouldn't.
They may grace you and help you to start life Many of them are well-meaning. They're not even mean.
Yeah.
It's very hard to walk away from polite people, eh?
Takes me to the story of Meghan Markle and Harry.
Yes.
Yes, the royal family.
You may marry into royalty of your country.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And you're not royalty yourself. Can you check whether this person is willing to chart our own path?
Yeah.
Because it's a very uncertain. To go build from zero, we may have some inheritance, but are you willing for us to go and build our own dignity? A path that we can command our lives. You don't want a phone call saying you're not a phone call and you freeze.
Yes.
Because the one who's calling is carrying your family, is carrying your future, is carrying your job, is carrying your everything.
Yeah.
You can't even tell them, I'm not, because they know your whereabouts, they know the money you have, they know your bank accounts, they know you have married their child.
Yeah.
You don't want that.
You don't want that.
So test whether this girl or this guy, early on, they can chart a path of their own. Codependency is lack of boundaries and being so unreal in your life that you put yourself in the masses of other people to facilitate their unreal life.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. How do we get out when we realize that this is someone who married me because of the society and he's just fulfilling that? He's not married me because he loves me.
We're going to focus on when you have gone as far as to make the unwise decisions to rush into marriage.
Yes.
Unaware. That's a whole discussion by itself. Because you really have to try to work from inside. If it doesn't work now, you must work from outside. You must leave the person alone.
Yeah.
But today we want to focus on selection. If you pick these signals, although they are not alarming, they are not alarming.
They're not alarming. They're gradual.
Society won't
And
see where you
silent.
left. Society won't see where you left.
Yeah.
They'll still call you petty. Careful. Noticing that this man has a very powerful mother who has many investments and is waiting to be inherited, to be passed on. And therefore he has become the puppet of the mother.
Yeah.
Because he's looking for inheritance. And this man has no independent mind of his own.
Yeah.
He cannot even allow that we build from zero. He's just waiting for mom to send inheritance. He's waiting for mom. Mom said next year. Mom said after 2 years. I'm waiting. So we are pending that this man is pending, waiting inheritance.
Yeah.
Pending. And all his money comes from the hand of the mother. Codependency.
Yeah.
And enmeshment.
Yeah.
For you to say, I prefer an independent mind with whom we can build life, that's not a good reason for society. So leave early and don't wait for confirmation by society.
Yeah.
Follow your intuition.
Yes.
Yes.
Let me read something from Before You Say I Do, Foundational Principles for Building a Marriage That Lasts. Now, regarding this topic that we were just talking about, but what do many people do, figuratively speaking? They try to grab the car now and either they crash it or they get into massive debt. Now, I'm talking about this in regard to this conversation because I found a part that you've written and it says, meet a good person when you're not ready for one. Sometimes you will meet a good person when you're not ready to confirm that good people exist and that you should continue to become good. In the same way, you keep seeing nice cars before you can afford them and it motivates you to work towards owning one. But what do many people do, figuratively speaking? They try to grab the car now and either they crash it or they get into massive debt. That's the journey needed before you can procure and maintain a happy union. Stop jumping into things just because you meet someone you like. I feel like this is telling us also to stop jumping into situations because it's time. Or we feel it's time, or the society feels it's time.
Society says, go, go, go.
Yes.
If you don't feel ready, don't go.
Yes, because I've cleared the compass. Now I should get married.
Exactly.
Not really. Wow, that's a powerful conversation there. Thank you so much, Benjamin Zulu, for enlightening us. And you can get Benjamin Zulu's books on www.benjaminzuluglobal.com. See you next time.
There are conversations that shape how we live. Conversations that help us navigate challenges of life. Conversations that bring out the best in us. This is where we gather to help each other find the way and unleash our potential. Welcome to the Benjamin